What's up, guys? Blacklisted Voice, episode 6. We're here with Luis and Elizabeth. They're a couple. They've been training at Breaking Boundaries with myself for it's been almost a year, a little over a year now, I think.
Yeah.
We recently just competed at Wadapalooza together on a team, so we're gonna kind of get their experience and kind of hear how that went for them and get their thoughts on Wadapalooza. So, as always, guys, just want to intro yourselves, just kind of like a quick background of training history and kind of who you are.
Alrighty, so I'll go ahead and go first. My name is Luis Larrea. I've been doing CrossFit for about 7 years now. Before CrossFit, I was kind of like in that like bodybuilding phase where I would just go to the Globo gym and just do pretty much curls for an hour and then realize, oh, why are my arms not getting any bigger? And then one day my brother was like, hey, you should try CrossFit. And then back then I was like, no, CrossFit's that thing that ruins your gains. I'm trying to get big. So then I did it, and we were very competitive, and I beat him by like 2 seconds. And I was like, oh, okay, I could do this CrossFit thing. The next day, he beat me, and we just kept beating each other. And then I just fell in love with CrossFit.
Yep. Right on. You've been training around the Atlanta area for a little bit now, correct?
Yes. So I live in East Cobb, so I've been to a couple of CrossFit gyms around here. Went to CrossFit 120, CrossFit Perimeter, and then now I'm at CrossFit Breaking Boundaries. Yes, and then prior to CrossFit, I played football. I played soccer and wrestling, so I've always been active, like as a kid. And it just kind of like, ever since I went to that bodybuilding phase, it was never really competitive. It was just me. So having that atmosphere where you get to train with everybody else, we're all suffering at the same time, we're all just trying to beat each other. It was just tons of fun.
Yeah, and you've never really followed a program until we started together, correct?
Yes, I would just do random stuff. I'd follow a lot of other ones and then just try and do too much in such a little span. And then I would just find myself like about probably 2-3 years into CrossFit, I would just like smash myself into the ground over and over and over again, thinking that, oh, if I'm always laying on the ground dying, I'm getting better. Quickly realized that was a mistake. I kept getting injured, and then I should not be doing that. And then one day you talked to me about training and programming, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And then have never been healthier, have never been stronger, and I feel like I'm the fittest I've been since I started CrossFit 7 years later.
Sweet. Elizabeth, what about you?
Yes, I'm Elizabeth Bradley. I've been doing CrossFit for about 5.5 years. My background is basically my whole life. I went through a brief phase of running half marathons for fun. I'm not really sure why I did that, but by doing that with some family members and stuff, it gave me a goal to train for. And the same family members talked me into trying CrossFit, and I fell in love with it too. So I've been competing probably about 4 out of 5 years. I've competed at a lot of people this year, my first year. I was a competitor, an individual competitor at regionals in 2018. I've been in the elite division in Granite Games and Alpha, and that's been tons of fun. So yeah, I kind of fell in love with it too. It gives me that competitive edge, and that gives me outlet. So yeah, it's about 5 years now. So.
Can you do you mind just lifting your phone up? I think your microphone might be covered a little bit.
Oh, sure. Can you hear me better now?
That's a little bit better. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah, so you kind of had a unique experience too, where basically one of your first competitions was elite division at Wadapalooza, correct?
And that was my last year has been at Wadapalooza. But
Okay.
but one of my first big competitions by myself was Wadapalooza. So not in the league division. That was last year, but going into such a big atmosphere so quickly was quite the experience. But
Yeah. Elizabeth basically jumped in full force.
yeah. But it was fun. It's been fun. So,
yeah. And you said that you also had a dance background. Was that correct? Or okay. Have you feel like that's kind of helped out like with the movements inside CrossFit, or helped out with the sport at all in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in dance you can such And now it's all about body awareness. So you spend so much time kind of getting to know your body and like how you stand and how you hold yourself. So I think that's translated great into CrossFit because when it comes to things like gymnastics and Olympic lifting and everything that kind of involves technique, when you give me a verbal cue, I can kind of translate that to my body, I think, easier than I would have if I didn't have background. So I think it's been super beneficial for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, we're having difficulties. Kyle Spears.
You
is
see a
no
lot of
longer in
gymnastics
the
and
room.
dance a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
our internet's a little bit spotty right now. Am I back?
Oh, you're back.
Are you guys?
Yeah, there it is.
Sorry. Yeah, we're having a little bit of internet difficulties right now, so we apologize if this is a little bit delayed or laggy. We're not really sure what's recording, so we're gonna here. You guys just compete. Luis, you've kind of been team oriented throughout your entire CrossFit career, and Elizabeth, Wadapalooza, you guys did team of 4, and Wadapalooza was kind of like your first team experience. So like, can you guys kind of talk to us a little bit more about like, Luis, you obviously competed in the RX division. I think in years past you'd been competing in intermediate or scale division. So what was it like kind of like stepping up into that, RX division, and Elizabeth, what was it like competing on a team for the first time?
So yes. So my very first competition was at Garage Games 1, which fun fact, Elizabeth was also there. We just didn't we haven't met each other yet. But see, we had that connection already before all this started, So that was my very first individual competition, and I finished 15th out of 30, and it was in the only division they had, I think it was RX. And I was like, okay, cool, like CrossFit's pretty fun. I finished in the middle of the pack. That was my goal. And then the next year there was I believe it was called the Spring Series for dog days. Did that on a team, and then I was like, I'm never doing individual ever again. Team is way more fun. I don't have to and then I found out very quickly that I would push myself to more extremes than I would if I was an individual for my team, not letting my team down. So we did. We ended up not qualifying for Wadapalooza one year, but we ended up doing the open division, so it was scaled. That was tons of fun. And then we did Granite Games the following year as an intermediate team. We didn't qualify for Wadapalooza the next year, and then we did Granite Games 2 more times. So I did Granite Games a total of 3, 2 intermediate and 1 RX. And we accidentally qualified for RX for Granite Games. And we were like, oh, oops. Okay, cool. This is fun. So that was tons of fun. And then last year we qualified for intermediate for Wadapalooza. So yes, this was my first time doing Wadapalooza RX. And then first time doing team of 4 too, because it's always been team of 3. Yeah. So it was tons of fun just because having that extra 4th person was just it was just so eye-opening because it's just 3 people trying to do a lot of work. For example, hey, use this 4-person worm with 3 people. That was challenging, but we got it done. Now it's like, hey, use the same 4-person worm with 4 people. It's so much easier, way easier with another person. So I mean, yeah.
Might be an understatement for that 3-person on 4-person work.
Right. But yes, so team of 4 was definitely fun, and just because the RX in Granite Games was a little bit different. The movements weren't as challenging, but they were hard. Don't get me wrong. But Wadapalooza RX was a whole different monster, whole different level. The weights were way heavier than I was used to. But I mean, we were able to just go in there. We had a game plan and just stuck to it the best we could, and just kept chipping away at all the workouts in the RX. And I feel like we did pretty well.
Yeah. You guys definitely did. So these guys initially qualified for intermediate division, but the Saturday before Wadapalooza, they looked at the leaderboard and they had
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday before Wadapalooza, they bumped 15 teams up from intermediate to RX division. So if you're just taking those 15 teams from the intermediate division, they would have placed 3rd place inside of those 15 teams. So they had a pretty good showing there. but yeah, you guys did an excellent job executing. So so Elizabeth, what was it like competing on a team versus individual?
It was very different, very different. But it was a lot of fun. I think, I've taken kind of the last year to kind of take a step back and kind of just enjoy training again and get my body healthy. Like when I started with you around the same time, I guess, a little bit later last year. Kind of just focusing on getting my body healthy again. And so taking a step back and kind of, for me, that was being on a team and just kind of having some fun for a change and not being so stressed competing individually. I think it was great for where I am, and like it brought a lot of fun, into competing again for me. And the team, like you said, we were on a team of four, and our other guy and our other brother were great, and they were super funny, which kind of helped lighten the mood. Like if you're in the corral, and you're super nervous about something, and you have someone else, cracking jokes or something like that. For me, that was great, and I think it was a great change. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is there like so for you, do you have like a different mindset, or did you like feel like you had a different mindset going out onto the floor with like three other people versus like an individual by yourself, or was there like a change in mindset at all?
Honestly, I think it kind of depended on the workout, if we're being honest. Like, obviously we're all super competitive, so that's why we love CrossFit. So, like the minute the clock started, we were all in the zone and ready to go. But for me, I think it depended on the workout. Like, we had a rowing event. I'm 5'1". Like, I got super nervous that I wasn't going to be able to hold my own. So I think that's an aspect I hadn't really experienced before. Like, the fear, not fear, but almost of letting down your teammates. But then there was another workout with pistols, and I was like, I got this. So I mean, I think it really depended on the workout, the way I kind of entered into it. I guess maybe from a confidence standpoint, because I had never really, like I said, experienced, maybe being worried about letting anyone down. But so that was new for me to deal with. But I think overall, like when the clock starts, you're ready to go. So in that aspect, it wasn't much different.
Yeah. Is it more stressful having like of oh man, I can't down on X workout, or is it more stressful kind of like knowing that you only have yourself to rely on? Does that make sense?
I'm not really. I don't think one necessarily is more stressful than the other. I just think they're different because
Yeah.
in one aspect, if you're competing by yourself, if you don't do as well in a workout, like you're only letting down yourself or the expectations you have. Like if you didn't, put as much weight as you wanted to on a lift, or you didn't go as fast as you wanted to, it's like, oh well, what? That was me. I just wasn't able to do that as well. But as I thought I was. But on a team, yeah, for sure. If you feel like you didn't perform your best, you feel like you're affecting the outcome for others. So, but in the on the other side though, that also gives you like that extra push.
Yeah.
So I don't think one's more stressful than the other. I just think they're different.
Yeah. The extra push. I mean, Luis, that might be why you kind of like found you like team a little bit more, is like,
yes.
can't let these guys down.
Yeah.
Is that kind of an aspect that you enjoy about Team Luis, or?
Yes, just like Elizabeth said, like if I let myself down, okay, I let myself down. My expectations were a little bit too high, no big deal. But like if I let the team down, I'll start just feeling like crap because I was like, I could have done that 2 extra reps, or I could have done 10 more seconds. I just gave up on myself. But me thinking like I'm not going to give up on myself because they're counting on me right now. So I'm going to make sure I give it 110% and give everything I got. If I'm laid out on the floor after that and I gave it everything I got, that's all I could really ask for. Versus like with me sometimes, just like I feel like with probably everybody else, like you're like by yourself training, oh, I could slow down, or oh, I could break this up in threes. It's okay. It's just me. Versus in the team aspect, it's like, hey, I'm going to go unbroken. I'm going to go faster. I'm going to do what I got to do to help my team do the best we can.
Yeah. So, it's kind of a unique mindset, or a mindset shift that you kind of have with like when you're training with other people. And the intensity is always a little bit higher when you're training with other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So one cool thing that not a lot of people get to experience, but you guys competed together as a couple, which is like a cool experience for you guys.
Definitely.
Did you guys feel like it was a little bit different going on the floor as a couple, and like how you guys competed together? Is there is it a little bit easier competing with kind of like your significant other versus like other people? Do you guys have any like thoughts on that or?
Do I have to answer that? I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, here, I can answer it. Let me answer it. I'm the first. I'm the first. We were training partners first, so I think we know each other really well, inside and outside the gym. So I don't think necessarily it was hard or different competing together, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because we communicate pretty well. So like, there was one workout that didn't go the way that he wanted, and so like I was like, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't work out, and then he needed space, and then like there was a workout that I was really nervous about, and then he stayed. So I mean, it, I think when you know someone, whether you are a couple or whether you're just training partners, whatever it is, I think you compete with that person. It's nice because you've trained together so long, so you know each other. So I don't think necessarily that it was hard in any way, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know each other.
Yeah. You guys definitely. Sorry, Luis. Did you have any other thoughts on
Yes,
that? Or?
yes, Luis. Do you have any other thoughts?
Let's hear it now, Luis.
Ditto. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not fair.
I think the best thing is like we went into it a couple, we left a couple, so that was good right there. we didn't kill each other. So that was good. But I mean, like she said, like we started off training partners first. We got to know each other very well there, inside and outside of the gym, and then she knows when I could push hard. I know when she can push hard. She can push hard, and then same thing. Like we know each other so aware that like okay, she's starting to get stressed. I'm starting to get stressed. We calm each other down the way we know how to.
Yeah.
And if they're like super duper stressed, we're like, okay, like they need their time. Like she needs her time. I need my time. And then we just like help each other out that way, because we're not gonna keep just egging each other on. You got this, and then just snap. And then I feel like with both of us just being so competitive and doing so many competitions and stuff, once that 3, 2, 1 go like starts, like I'm not thinking like, oh, she's my girlfriend. I'm thinking like, hey, we're all a team. We're doing this. Let's go. Like we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah. So you kind of as soon as you guys hear that go, like you guys like switch hats a little bit and almost like you're more team oriented than kind of couple oriented.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like if I slow down, he's gonna tell me to move out of the way. If he slows down, I'm gonna tell him to move out of the way. You know what I mean? So like, no hurt feelings on the competition.
Yeah. I'm guessing him slowing down and you telling him to move out of the way happens a little bit more than you slowing down and him telling.
This is correct.
No, it depends on what you do, for sure.
I think there's video evidence of me doing that deadlift burpee workout where you just smack me and you're like, go faster, and I'm like, okay. So yes, Kyle, you're correct. You are correct.
No.
Just watching from the stands, that was definitely the case in most podcasts.
Oh, come on. I'm a lot shorter.
So which, like, they did have a lot of team-oriented workouts there this year. So which workout do you guys feel was, like, the hardest workout, and which one do you feel like you guys had the most fun on?
Okay, so do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
Are you sure? No, I'm just kidding. So I think the one that, like, just personally speaking, that as a team we did great on was the worm workout, where we just had to hold it while one person went to go do work. Because I think we were like one of 2 or 3 teams maybe that did not drop the worm. Yeah. We communicated very well. We had a game plan and we stuck with it. And that was the most fun actual team workout. Because a lot of them were like, hey, male 1 goes, male 2 goes, female 1, female 2. It's like, okay, cool. Who's got the best 4 individual athletes on the team? Mm-hmm. Which, like, for me, there was really no synchro at all. Like, it was like bar muscle ups, which I feel like is one of the easier movements to synchro, and wall balls. I mean, Like it wasn't like, hey, chest to bar, hey, do this, do that. It was kind of just like, one goes, or like male go, and then female go, or male female male. Because most of the workouts were like, for example, the one that I struggled the most on, like the legless rope climb workout, it was the males went first, and then like, okay, cool. Like, if in our case, if you guys did, like, if people did what we did, like, when we didn't get to clear the whole entire thing, the females just kind of just stood there and they didn't have a chance to do anything. And then same thing with the rowing workout. It was the guys and the girls versus, like, I found like the most fun that I had was the just holding the worm, just like, because that was straight up just grunt work, just hold while they do stuff. So you got to do your part. Because, again, same thing with the whole team atmosphere and mindset. It's like, I could easily drop this worm. I want to right now, but then it all falls down and it crumbles the whole team versus like, no, I'm not going to drop it. I'm hurting really bad, but I'm not going to drop it. I'm not going to drop it. And you go on to, you do your part. You come back, hey, I'm not going to drop it. I'm not going to drop it. So I think that was my favorite workout.
Yeah.
That was, that was probably my favorite workout. It was probably one of the most difficult parts. Like you said, it was just like grunt work, but I think it was fun in the sense that you all felt super accomplished when you finished. Because the way we had practiced it, we didn't have to carry the worm or hold the worm. And then when we got there, it's like, okay, well, all right, let's go. So I think we were,
5 minutes before, hey, everything changed. And we're like, okay, cool.
So I think like figuring like, I mean, like you said, 5 minutes per hour, we were trying to figure out how to stand because I'm so much shorter than everyone else, so it was like hard to figure out where to stick me and like who to have like shove the heavy stabs and stuff. So I think that was more fun in the sense of like it felt super accomplished. I think one of the harder workouts, in my opinion, didn't really necessarily have to do with the workout, but the Jacob Morris workout, the Celebrate Life workout, that workout completely changed for us when we were in the corral. Like the weights got heavier, the box height got higher. The rep scheme was different. Like we found it was different when we were given our scorecard. So I think that was the hardest one, maybe mentally, because we were walking out and we're like, okay, well, our plan completely changed. So you're tackling the workout completely in a completely different way when you're on the competition floor, like if you had a chance to think about it. So I think maybe mentally that was the toughest, but again, I mean, it all worked out,
Yeah.
And it goes 3-1, but for me, it's probably mentally the hardest.
Yeah. Do you feel like because that happened to you guys a couple times where like the workout changed on you guys like in the warm up area?
It happened every single workout except
1 or 2.
One or two, yeah.
I think so like, do you feel like having teammates there made that a little bit easier versus if it was like an individual competition, then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're bumping the dumbbell up to, from 50 pounds to 70 pounds. Good luck, guys. Like, do you feel like the having the extra members on the team to kind of like, okay, what's our game plan now? What are we going to do now was helpful versus like, if you're an individual, you might not even get to talk to anybody about the workout heading out from the warm-up area to the stage, and you kind of just got to sit in your own thoughts. That makes sense.
Yeah. I thought it was good having 3 other people because like same thing, like, hey, okay, on the website, everything, hey, this is what we're doing. Okay, here's a scorecard. We're going in 2 minutes. It's like, wait, what? Everything completely changed. So it was, everyone was in the same boat. So the fact that all 4 of us were like, all right, like we got 90 seconds. Like, what do you feel comfortable doing? Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. All right. And so we all like pitched in, and then we all like just came up with an idea, and we just did it the best we could.
I guess like this is where our backgrounds are competing come into play. Because for me, I thought that was a lot harder. Having 3 other people you have to communicate with, and the workout completely changes. I thought was a lot more difficult. Like if it was just myself, or I would just have been like, okay, so how does that change my strategy? And I would have only had to communicate, within myself, not within a team of 4, So that was more difficult. So I think that maybe just our backgrounds come into play there.
Yeah. So you're almost saying like it made it a little bit more difficult because there were more variables that you had to account for.
Yeah. Maybe like mentally more like overwhelming because like okay, our my partner that I'm singling with, maybe I can handle more reps if she can't, or maybe on a certain movement she can handle more and I can't. So you had to really communicate on the fly when you were out there against the workout
Yeah.
team. But if it was, like in my mind, if it's just me, you kind of have an idea of what you can handle. So for me, the communication thing within a team was so new. I thought it was harder, but
Yeah.
it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah. I think that's one of the aspects that appeals to Team 2 is like the fact that you do have communication and you do kind of have to like work on the fly a little bit more. That's from personal experience, but like, is that something you kind of enjoy about Team Luis or?
Yeah, and then one thing that I really enjoyed too, like just like in every single team competition I've ever done, really is like we all did such a good job of just putting our prides aside and not being like, oh, I could do more, I could do more. It's like we all just put it all aside and we came together as a group, as a team, which is crazy though because like I said, the workouts that it was just split in half or individual. We didn't crumble, but like if you look at like our scorecard and everything, like all the workouts that we had to do as a team, as a CrossFit team, we did very well in because we were a really good team. We weren't really good, just 4 individuals put together. So I think we did a really good job just putting all that aside, all the pride and everything, be like, okay, hey, how can we do this as a team? How can we come together as a team to do the best that we can as a team? Not just 3 and then 1 or 2 and 2, but yeah.
And considering we hadn't really worked out as a team, but like, was it what, one?
I think one time.
Twice?
Yeah. Yep.
Over the course of 2 days, I mean, I
agree. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was so that was pretty fun to watch. I've coached quite a few teams now, and you guys did an excellent job with, most of the teams back in the day were regional teams, so everyone was kind of had to train together, and they were right there.
Yeah.
So you guys only having 2 days working together, like you guys meshed so well together, and like all you guys' personalities were like perfect for each other. So that was a lot of fun to watch, and it makes coaching a lot easier too. So thank you.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Yeah. So kind of one of the I guess points of this podcast was to, both you guys are working or going to school, and not a lot of people in that regard get to tell their side of the story or how they kind of balance things. So you guys just want to chat a little bit more about, what you guys do for work outside of the gym and how you kind of balance like work or school outside of the gym and training hard?
Sure. So luckily, I've been lucky enough to all 7 years I've been doing CrossFit, working in like some sort of fitness atmosphere. So I was like always just been around it. And then it wasn't until probably like about 3 years ago where I officially switched that line of going full-time CrossFit coach. So always being in the gym, when I have breaks, being able to train and stuff like that, that definitely helped out. Mm-hmm. And then, graduated from Kennesaw State University. And then, so I had a lot more time, and I was like, okay, I'm going to just train full-time, coach full-time. Mm-hmm. Quickly realized I burnt out pretty quickly just doing that. So I was like, okay, I need some balance. Cause like, when I was younger, 7 years ago, I was like, oh, CrossFit's my life. I am defined by CrossFit. I am CrossFit. CrossFit is me. And then I quickly realized like, if CrossFit's gone, what am I? And then I was like, oh, well, so I need to find a good balance. Mm-hmm. And then, so started coaching, training, having that balance, and then just started having fun with it again. And then back in September last year, I started massage therapy school. And then so they were like, okay, so you can come into class from 9 a.m. to like I think 3:30 a.m. is the morning class, Monday through Thursday. Or you could do Monday through Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. So I was like, okay, do I want to train in the morning? Do I want to train at night? And just a bunch of other variables like played with it too, like, the cost, all this, all that. So I ended up obviously choosing the evening classes. So like from 5:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. So, by the time I get home, it's like pretty much midnight. And then by the time I eat and everything, so having to wake up and stuff like that. So it's helped that I've backed off coaching as well. And then, so now I wake up, eat my breakfast, do what I got to do, go train. And then as soon as I get done training, I go straight to school. Then I come back and I pretty much do it all over again. And then luckily on Fridays and Saturdays, the days that I coach, I don't have to go to school. So that helps a lot. Because if I had to coach in the morning, balancing all three, I would probably have burnt out like a couple months ago. Just, wake up, school, coach, train, and everything like that. So it's been a hard balance. It took about 6 months. I'm already halfway through the program. It's taken about 6 months to, okay, I have a rhythm. I have like, I know what I can do now. I can sleep till like 8 or 8:30 and still be good to, do what I got to do in the morning to get my homework and study and stuff done. And then, go train. And then, and I could probably speak for both me and Elizabeth on this one, but our training has been more like, training instead of just like, train, like do like A and B and like rest like an hour and just relax. Like we go in there, we get it done and we go out. So it's
Yeah.
not like, we're not in the gym for longer than we have to be, if that would make sense.
Yep. Yeah, totally. So
Know what I mean?
one thing you kind of said there that I think is hard for a lot of people, but you actually took a step back from coaching and kind of took some things off your plate. Is that correct?
Yes, just because it was a lot. It was
Yeah.
a lot, having their coaching like, morning and evening. So like I used to coach in the morning, train, and then stay there and then coach in the evening. So I was there from like 9 a.m. or 8:30 until 8 p.m. So I'd be there for 12 hours for like 4 or 5 days a week. So just being the same four walls over and over again. I was like, it's like, I love it. I love Breaking Bad, just my favorite. But like just there over and over again, I feel like I quickly burnt out. So I
Yeah.
feel like going back to school is a healthy balance of, hey, I'm at the gym for 2 or 3 hours. I'm at home pretty much to sleep, and then I'm somewhere else to go to school. So just different environment, different like, just visual surroundings instead of just like being the same wall over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you started school, what kind of like made you realize you needed to take a step back from coaching? Does that make sense?
I was really sleepy all the time. Training suffered too. I started getting injured just because it's the whole sleep thing, because I
Yeah.
was never, I was, I was always like a morning person, not really a night owl until I met the lovely Elizabeth Bradley. So she kind of trained me into being a night owl. So, and then just, so like I pretty much fall asleep at midnight and
Okay.
then having to wake up at 7:30 to go coach, 8:30, 9:30, and then 11:30, and then having to train and then go back to school. I was just like, oh, okay, that's a lot. Like I have to like
Yeah.
kind of step back. And it was a tough decision too because I love coaching. I love everybody at the gym. I loved being there, but I was like, I need to do what I needed to do for me, for like my health and just my well-being. It wasn't the easiest decision because people are like, oh, you're a coach. Like, okay, you just coach at a gym, but there's like way more than that,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was hard, but I was just like, I needed to do what I needed to do. My focus shift a little bit to, now being a massage therapist, working on athletes and stuff like that, but still being around the gym. But, I found myself that I didn't need to be at a gym for 12 hours anymore. It just wasn't for me anymore.
For sure. For sure. Elizabeth, what else do you got going on outside of the gym?
Oh, like it goes on. Well, yeah, actually, kind of similar. I was a full-time coach for a while, at a gym, and yeah, I found the same thing. I found that coaching full-time and being in the same four walls, training, coaching, like friends, and within those four walls, it just became a lot being in one space, and so I was going to take a step back, but now I coach part-time. That's the year coming, and then I just recently got my real estate license, so I'm working in that. My mom's a real estate agent as well, so I'm learning the ins and outs and working with her. So that's been great. That took up a lot of time, so I think that was part of my decision to kind of take a step back from. I talked earlier about kind of taking a step back from competing just a little bit to kind of focus on getting my body healthy and just mentally giving myself a break too. Because I had other goals as well. So my goal was to get my real estate license, which took a long time with studying and taking exams and everything. So I recently got that, and then I also work for a company. I work for the record label. I choreograph for them. They write and distribute trips for them. So I work for record music. So I got a lot going on, but it's fun. I like it that way. Like you
Yeah.
were saying, you have different outlets. So it's always different. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were actually getting your real estate license during the open this last year.
I did. I went and sat for a 4-hour exam. I had studied for like I did nothing but sit in my room and study for like 3 days. I went and took a 4-hour exam, and the next day I woke up and went and did. I think it was the second open workout. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, what happened? Because I hadn't trained like you know, I had in years past, and that was a weird feeling for me to kind of release that just a little bit and not be so focused on one workout and how that determined, you know, how I placed in that one workout and how that would determine my open finish. Because, yeah, because in 2018 I went to regionals, in 2019 obviously the format changed, and so kind of getting used to a different process and being able to kind of let go just a little bit for this season. I still love competing, but being able to let go a little bit for this season and saying, okay, my goals are different this year. They're different they're outside of the gym. I'm no longer in the gym full time. And honestly, I think that helps a lot mentally.
Yeah. Can you chat a little bit more about that? Like how is taking a step back from the gym actually helped inside of the gym? Is that?
Yeah, I think we touched on it when we said, when we go in, we train, and when we're done, and we leave. So for me, like I go in and I train with him or with y'all, and so then when I'm done, I either work on real estate or I coach part time at the gym. I coach at my house. So even if I'm in a gym, I'm in a different atmosphere. I'm not training and coaching all day every day in the same location. So I think that helped me mentally because it gave me variety, and that works well for my personality, like being involved in different different aspects of what I love. So it's not just one thing I love. It's just several things, and I thought that helped me a lot mentally, and also it didn't put as much pressure on me when I compete. So again, Luis mentioned this earlier, but like when I'm competing, like it doesn't define me. How I work, how I finish in an event, whether it be like, the open or an online qualifier or water cruise at Granite Games, like the pressure it's not as much stress, not as much pressure because I have my focus on other things as well. So
Yeah. And so you dance as well, and you're in dance videos, correct?
I am, yes. Yeah, I teach these kids. So what I'll do is so I choreograph for all their kids' music, and then I teach them film, and then they put them on DVDs and basically they send them out to churches all over the world who use our curriculum. And basically I teach the leaders in the church. So they're like, hey guys, this song is talking or whatever, and they'll learn dance moves from me. So I've gotten like messages and emails, and we have a conference every year, and I'll go and I work one of the booths that sells their product, and then they're like, oh, we watch you every week in our kitchen, so it's learning dance videos. So I think that kind of like, it makes my world a little bit bigger. And actually what's fun is the other day I walked into CrossFit Linear where I coach, and a lady was sitting there with her daughter in her lap who looked like she was maybe preschool age, and they were both kind of staring at me, and I was like, hey, good morning, like, how are you? And she goes, are you on dance videos for preschool kids? And I said, I am. And her daughter's just like staring at me. They're like, we knew you from somewhere. So it was funny because it was like my two worlds collided. But, yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Were they new at the gym?
Not really. So I guess they had just seen the videos in their churches or something. I'm not sure, but it was funny.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's funny. That's a small world.
Yeah, it was cool.
Cool. Well, just wrapping up here, guys. We're trying to come up with kind of a theme or a question to wrap up our podcast here. But today we're just going to ask who has been one influential person inside of your fitness or sport journey? Let you guys think about that for a little bit.
Elizabeth, you can go first.
Okay. To be honest, I don't think I have one. I think I have a lot of different people who've been very influential. I think I have you as a coach, and then coaches I've worked with in the past too. Like I have my family members. I have the owners of the gym I coach at. Where I coach at, I started there 5.5 years ago, so they've known me through the whole process. Luis and my brother is competitive in CrossFit as well. I think everyone kind of collectively have had a huge impact on me, a big influence, because it's in different areas, you know, whether it be just like emotional support from my family, or like, you know, Kyle, like you saying, okay, you know, your elbow's hurting, what can we do differently, and kind of helping me not focus on that, but grow in different areas. You know, I've had coaches who, you know, in the past help me mentally, and like become stronger. And then and my brother, he competed at the CrossFit Games and coaching 15-year division last year and actually won. So he relates very well to we relate very well together because we relate, you know, we can talk about things. And so I wouldn't say there's been one influential person or one person who can help me the most. I think, you know, being surrounded, you know, what CrossFit is all about, a community, you know. So like I said, whether it's family or you as a coach, or you know, me and Luis, you know, talk about whatever it is inside or outside the gym. I think at some point it's much more than CrossFit, you know, much more than your athletic career, the things that you do along the way. So I wouldn't say I've had 1%. I think it's been a whole group of people who've been involved. So that's me.
Yeah, so it always takes a team, and you gotta,
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, it takes. I mean, too. There's so many emotions when you compete or when you train, or you know, it's so much more than just training. Like, you have a goal that you're passionate about, whether it just be your fitness or be, you know, hopefully, you know, one day competing at the games. Like, there's so many different goals. So I think it takes the whole team to deal with all those emotions. So I think it's, you know, but I think that's why we all love it so much. You know?
For sure. Yeah. It definitely takes a village to raise a child and a village to
raise a CrossFit athlete.
So,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, you and David have a great support system and a lot of people helping out. So very cool.
Yeah, we're super lucky. So.
Yeah. Luis, what about you? You have anyone that's been pretty influential, or?
I mean, same thing as Elizabeth said. Like, I'm not gonna name any names just because I'm gonna forget somebody. But just my family, Elizabeth, you as a coach, just like always being there. Like, even like sometimes like you're doing your own workout, or me and Elizabeth are doing something, you always come over like, hey, you know, do this, do that. Just like always being there. People at CrossFit Breaking Boundaries, at CrossFit Lanier, just all the owners just being open to both of us to just go from different gyms. You know, if our schedules line up to where, oh, hey, we're in the Cumming area, we could go to CrossFit Lanier. If we're Alpharetta, CrossFit Breaking Boundaries North Roswell, CrossFit Breaking Boundaries, just having everybody being so open to allowing us to, because I mean, most people probably don't know about the CrossFit gyms, but like they're closed between certain hours. But that's the only time me and Elizabeth can really train. So the fact that they're opening up their business for us to come in and do our workouts and then leave, you know, we always make sure everything's nice, clean before we leave. So just like everybody there, the community at each gym, like people always, my athletes always tell me, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's training? Like, you know, are you competing for anything else? Just like having everybody just back you up, like just everybody. Like even people at the gym, like having training partners that have been with us for years that just come in too. Like, you know, especially like we all do a really good job of it. It's like, you know, if I'm going for a max lift or Elizabeth or you or anybody, we all stop what we're doing. Well, come on, so you got this. And we just cheer them on. And just having that little bit of like, come on, you got this. It's like, oh, everyone's staring at me. 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit that lift. Or, you know, like, you know, because when we all train together, we're like, there's like 5 or 6 of us, but we're all doing different things. But at the same time, we're all like, hey, good job. Or, hey, you got this. Hey, go faster. Hey, go heavier. So we're all just in there just colliding like we were talking about, like as a village. And we're all just together, just the whole community aspect of everyone being open to letting us come into their gyms on off hours in different locations. And just having everyone just kind of just back us up and always say, if we're forever down, we have so many people, like Elizabeth said, just emotional support. It's like, hey, you know, it's okay. Like next time you'll get it. Or like, you know, you learn from your mistakes and you just kind of move on from there.
Yeah. That last snatch PR you had was pretty hype.
Yes. Yeah, literally everybody stopped and it was just me. And I almost tore my head open because I was so happy. Screamed so loud. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it. You guys have some cool stuff and cool stories. So
you're welcome for having us.
Yeah. If you guys are listening on iTunes, you guys can also find us on Spotify. Make sure you follow us on Instagram if you found us on iTunes. So blacklisted.hq on Instagram. We put out a lot of informational videos on movements and kind of mindset is our big thing right now. We also have a YouTube page that we put some of those out on, so you guys can follow us there. If you guys are listening on YouTube, you can also listen to us on iTunes or Spotify, any of the major podcast, I guess, broadcasters. And make sure you subscribe to us or follow us on Instagram. How do they get a hold of you guys? You guys have Instagrams or emails?
My personal phone number,
Oh, what's that?
which I'm not going to give out.
Oh, dang. You guys have Instagrams people can follow you on, or
E_Bradley.
E_Bradley for Elizabeth?
Yep,
and
that's me.
Hold on, I'm looking at mine now. I can't remember. Oh, Larrea Luis 03.
The screen was really bright. If you want to hold that up again for people watching on YouTube.
There we go.
How do you spell that?
LARREALUIS 03. I'm at 821 followers. I would like 1,000. That'd be cool. Thanks, guys.
For those that aren't
Appreciate
watching,
it.
Luis had to read that off of his phone. So
Yes.
I couldn't remember if it was Luis Larrea or Larrea Luis, and I couldn't remember if it was 3003. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
thanks for listening, guys. Catch us next time.
Yeah.